What's going on, guys? Charlie Jones here from the Armed and Successful podcast, a podcast all about arming yourself with the knowledge to be successful in life and business. Today's guest is both of those. Mr. Brian Lockerman, the president and CEO of MB Studio Productions, producer and host and star of Open Arms, and more. Also, one of my business partners and really good friends. Welcome to the podcast, Brian.
What's happening, Charles? Man, me and you have been in business for a while together, Did a lot of stuff over the years.
Yeah, it's been a lot of good years and a lot more to come.
Absolutely. This is a great podcast you have started because I think a lot of people need to know like the do's and don'ts about entrepreneurship. And like myself, over the years, I learned a lot. And I've been sharing a lot with people because of my some of my mistakes with some of my good things, and it's been working out well.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And we're definitely gonna dive into that. Let's start with this, something interesting that some people may or may not know about you. Some people say former rock star. I say current rock star. So you were in the music business. What was the transition like from music, like rocking out, being that guy, to the business side of things?
Yeah, I mean, when I was, a young kid, came out to California to audition for a band, made the audition, that band fell apart, started my own band, got a record deal, and was in the music industry. During that, I was actually cast for some modeling and commercial spots, believe it or not, because I looked like a really hot chick back in the day with my thick, long blonde hair. And I started, transitioning into the entertainment side. So that's when I decided to start my own businesses to keep myself afloat. And believe it or not, I used my money to buy a video arcade company. And that's where I started my first entrepreneurship. And it went very well. I've owned that company for probably, 12 years. It was very successful. And from there, I transitioned into a sporting goods distribution company, and there to the firearm industry, and there to the production industry. So always been self-made my whole life. And again, going through these steps over the years, I did do some mistakes, but I also learned a lot.
Got you. So what were you, to build on your conversation about mistakes, because you've been in a lot of industries, obviously. We met each other through the firearms industry or ammunition industry, and I've seen the transition from that to where we're at now. So if you could give one piece of advice on the 2A side of things, on something that if somebody's just starting out, trying to get into the business, let's go with one mistake that you may or may not have made, and then from there, how you build on it.
Yeah, one of the biggest ones, again, is about who you're bringing in as partners. Now, everybody has their story. Everybody will sell you a bill of goods, but research that person. Know them before you make that final commitment. That was my one big mistake I did with the studio. I brought someone in that sold me a bill of goods without me. Let me go back though. I did know the person for about 9 years, but not really in depth. And if you don't know the person in depth, be cautious. Check him out. Check them out. Because when I brought him in, I thought he was something else than what he was. And long story short, the guy knew nothing. He contributed nothing. He did nothing. And he ended up robbing us. So there you go. That was my mistake. That was a fault. Because I kind of took for granted who he was. Now, throughout my other ventures of business, I've always researched my people bringing in, especially in the higher positions of the company. You'll bring in your workers here and there. That's here nor there. But if you bring in partners, investors, or somebody you want to have your CFO or COO or whatever, you want to really know that person.
It makes sense. So the transition again from the 2A side to MB Studio Productions, which is your current business that you own. It's, for those watching, a great full-scale production house and I'm going to pitch it because but more importantly, a full-scale production house. We have everything you need, centrally located in Westlake Village, California. So that's your plug for the day.
There you go.
You can't do that.
Awesome. And buddy, just to let you know, the month of October, we're giving 25% discounts on any production, any rental, anything for the month of October at the studio, by the way.
for those of you guys are watching, you're getting discounts today just for watching too. That's even better. So you
That's it.
transitioned from the 2A industry to MB Studio
Yes.
Productions.
Yes.
Where did that come from? Like, where was the
Gotcha.
inspiration to create it?
Basically, I was producing a show called Open Arms. It's about gun safety, family values, and the Second Amendment.
Mhm.
About 8 years ago, we did about 3 seasons worth, put it on the Outdoor Channel here and there, pay to play. Then I put it on the back burner. Now, in that moment, I was still doing production. So I ventured off and doing small little commercial things and stuff like that because I already knew how to do production with doing the show. And we started, just doing other things besides the show at that point. And then about a year and a half or 2 years ago, the Gersh agency contacted me and wanted me to bring the show back to life because of all the buzz in the industry. So therefore, that made me even grow my production company even bigger from the 2A to production, but using that as a tool to promote the 2A industry. Because my Open Arms show, I think, is an educational, informational, and everybody needs to see. That's why I started my podcast, Open Arms, the podcast. Again, talking about gun safety, family values, Second Amendment, and also having a lot of politicians on, attorneys on, therapists on, just talking about everything there is about the Second Amendment, about gun ownership. And then, as you know, we were going great with the podcast, so we decided to build a huge production facility to even make us stronger and bigger than ever. And you, my friend, are part of that right now.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I was on the show on one episode. For those of you guys are watching, make sure you check them out and see that episode. I was in a beautifully dressed, bright pink, armed and successful shirt. So it was
That's
great.
true.
I was afraid it wasn't going to show up on camera, but it turned out pretty good.
No, it was great, dude. It was fantastic. I love that show. It was awesome.
It was
I mean,
awesome. So,
now, you and I, we were in the ammo business for a bit. We were making brass. That was one of our first really big business ventures you and I started. And that was pretty pricey venture because we had to bring in a lot of money, get the machinery and things like that. There's another tip for everybody out there. And you'll back me on this one.
mhm.
Charles and I, we're in business, and we brought a partner in, and his partner brought in, big dollars, to help us out and everything like that. But he was the wrong guy. He got cold feet, and he jumped ship, and literally 30 days into where he could have made a fortune.
Yeah.
Again, that's knowing your partner. Who you got to know who they are. Are they going to stick with you through thick and thin? Are they going to stick to you for the end? I always tell people this. People will start a business, okay, and
Mhm.
don't want to make $1 million in 1 month. Oh man, we're not doing anything. I'm going to close this business down. No, you stick to it. You work at it.
There you go. You're
You
back.
still there? You
Yep, you're
there?
back.
Yeah. What I
Yep.
was saying was, people always, start a business and they jump ship, and I think that you just have to just stick with it, and you put your work in, put your blood, sweat, and tears in, and it'll be a success. You don't think you're going to make $1 million in the first month, the first year, or whatever. It takes time. It takes a lot of work, but at the end of the day, you can be successful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I preach on a lot. And I use that term lightly, preach, but is, if you get into business for the wrong reason, thinking that you're going to make money the first, second, third year, listen, a lot of us, including myself, nobody really knows the background of things.
Yeah.
I started this company in 2012 from a little nook in my bedroom.
Mm.
It took 8 years till I was profitable. I took jobs. And for those of you guys who are watching, don't be afraid. Listen, just
Exactly.
because you're working for somebody else while you're having your own business doesn't mean you're not an entrepreneur. It just means you're smart.
Exactly. Very well said. That's my motto right there. People stick with it always become successful. So that's just like again my
Absolutely.
little advice out there. If you're going to be starting something,
Mhm.
don't just start it and then quit right away because you're not making any money. Just stick with it. Just keep going. Fight for it. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you
Now,
go.
speaking of fighting for it, I always ask people this because I know you so well, and I know Nikki. And for those of you guys who don't know Nikki, it's definitely Brian's better half, literally. Um, How important is it for you to have somebody like her? Like I know for me, it's very important for my wife, and for a lot of other people, whether it be your wife, husband, whatever it is, no judgment here. How important is it for you to have somebody that supports you the way that she does?
Extremely important, beyond important. She has been my backbone through this whole thing. She's been the one who supported me through thick and thin through this studio. We had our situation where he got robbed. I mean, she stuck behind me and she helped out. She was the only one, like in our group out here, that really, really fought for it. Because everybody else is like, oh, forget it. Let's just we're done. We're done with that. No, she said, and made it happen. And she really helped us a lot. And she's always been there, always helping with the social media, always working, always making a difference. And now she gets to learn all this brand new equipment. And she's going to be all.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, I thought I lost you again. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I get as
this
important,
is all,
100%.
which is great. And for those of you guys are watching, you know already, I don't have any engineers or anything on my side, so sometimes we come through some little issues and we just keep it moving. So
That's it. That's
it's
it.
very natural.
That's
So,
today's
so, so
technology. You get good little glitches every once in a while.
yeah, listen, it is what it is, right? So
Yeah.
speaking, just keep on the whole relationship thing too. For those of you guys are watching again, Nikki's his better half. I laugh and joke, but it's the truth about all of us. We all have other people that make us better. So, what is her role? Because for me, my wife's not involved because of what I do and where she works.
Yeah.
But for you, what is her role on that side with you? Is she more of, hey, I'll answer the phones, or is she hands on doing everything that you're doing and more?
She's hands on. Again, she's our social media guru. She also she runs the podcast, especially for my show. She's in there running all the gear because we have a camera in there too, as well. Because she gets to chime in on my shows and she'll say something and the camera will be on her while she's talking. So she's running the podcast. So she can run anybody's show if she wants to. Now, that was with our gear we had before. We got this state of the art gear we have now is amazing. She's got to learn it, and she will. And once she does that, again, she'll be running the show in there, once it gets all dialed in. But again, as far as social media, she's amazing. The way she posts, what she knows the ins and outs. She's doing a great job on her own private channel plus our channels, just doing fantastic work.
Wow, that's amazing. And to touch on just amazing work, and again, everything you're doing is phenomenal. I draw a lot of inspiration, even from what I'm doing here. I wouldn't have started a podcast had I not went on yours, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because people think that I'm a social butterfly, but I'm really not. I'm kind of introverted, like most of us are. I go out and I talk to people, and then I come home and I'm beat. I'm tired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know it. But no, it's been great knowing you over the years, dude. We've shared a lot of experiences together. How many years of SHOT Shows, your events you always put on, they've been
Yeah.
phenomenal, by the way. We've always had a great time. Nikki had a blast at the one dancing away and something. We have all
Yeah.
that footage still. You really did. You put a great business together, and I really do admire you for that.
I appreciate it. I admire you as well, especially now. And I won't go into detail too much. But Nikki had posted something a while ago. All of us who know and love you are familiar with that you're suffering from the same thing my mom does with
Yeah.
the kidney and having to go to dialysis. For you guys want to see motivation, you got to look at Brian. Brian is much like my mom. My mom goes 3 times a week. I think you do the same or more, and it wipes her out. But on days that you go to dialysis, you're just well spirited, like you have more energy than I do. So where do you get that strength from? Is it just that, hey, I got something to do, I'm going to do it? Or where does that come from? Because there's a lot of people that aren't suffering from anything other than laziness that don't have the motivation and strength that you do.
Thank you for bringing it up. That's a good point. And you're right. When I first went on dialysis, I was ready to check out, dude. I said, I just can't live anymore. This is just taking my life from me. But after maybe a month or two, I thought to myself, I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm going to conquer this. So I just dug in and I said, let's get this thing moving. Let's get something happening. And I set my mind to nothing but success. Okay. And that gave me the energy to do things and make things happen. And today, still, when I tell people I'm on dialysis, they can't believe it. They're like, you just come off dialysis and you're doing this right now. That's right. I'm not going to let it beat me. Now,
Yeah.
I am in line for a transplant. I'm on top of the list right now at Loma Linda University. I have a very good friend of mine testing for me as well. And so things are working pretty good. But again, I tell people when they have their hems and haws about, oh, it's going to take too much work. I got this going on, that going on. No, dude, I'm on dialysis. I'm busting my butt to make things happen. You know, don't let things in life beat you up. You know, just go dig in like I did and make it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, quite honestly, you're a true inspiration, man. And I'm not just saying that because we know each other for the podcast or for Instagram or anything else. You are. So just know that, me and a lot of other people that are watching this that probably don't even know you and are just being introduced to you for the first time. And I don't know how they don't know you because you're a freaking ball of light, but are all rooting for you.
Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I really do.
No, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
So the industry that you're in now is interesting. And again, it truly is. And I'm not saying this because of the podcast. It inspired me to start this podcast. So for those of us, like even myself, who are rookie or just kind of starting out and are looking at people like you or other people in the podcast industry, where would they start? What's the first step?
Good question again. I think what they need to do is have an idea or a subject they'd like to get out their point across and make that their focal point. And again, it doesn't have to be some monster produced thing or some crazy written, thing. You just go out there and start with just some general thoughts about what you believe in or what you want to share with other people. Something that you've experienced maybe. Something that you're doing and that other people can do too as well. Start small and build from that. That's what I did with my podcast. We started in that little room. Actually, I'm in the little room today, by the
Yeah, I
way.
see the
I'm in
background.
my little first podcast room. Well, it's funny. Again, that's where we started here. I
Yeah,
started small. I started having little bits and pieces, and it just start building and building and building, which is great. I would just suggest people to do that. Give it a go and try to build from that. Don't go crazy. Just simple, and then just build it up.
awesome advice. And for those of you guys watching, I'm sure he wouldn't mind being bothered. Make sure you get a hold of those guys on Instagram, NB Studio Productions or Open Arms TV, I think it is, right?
Yeah, it's openarms.tv.
Open Arms
And
TV.
I encourage anybody who wants to be on my show. Now, we can do now Skype, phone calls in, everything, or come online, just be in person on my show. If you have views you want to talk about, I don't care if they're pro Second Amendment, anti Second Amendment, pro political thing or whatever, come on my show. Let's have a discussion. We don't have an argument, we have a discussion. That's all.
Yeah, and you know what? That's how it should be. I had a conversation with somebody the other day around politics and faith and everything else. And for those of you guys that do or don't know, I'm not going to tell you what party I tote, but
I
probably
wonder.
probably pretty obvious. But the difference is there are valid points, some a lot more on one side than the other, but we should be able to have an intelligent conversation or unintelligent conversation. It doesn't matter. I speak good English and bad English. I can do both. Just have that conversation about our ideas and beliefs or whatever without
I,
having, some kind of anger behind it, because that's what's wrong, in my opinion, with the state of society right now is we can't have a conversation without being offended.
I agree 100% on that one. Just have a good conversation, express your opinions, and there you go.
Yeah, if you don't agree with me, so what? Let's go grab a beer and
Exactly.
smoke some
That's what I
cheese.
say too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to kind of touch on the conversation piece that you brought up earlier too about um, be careful as to who you bring in with you in business too. I say the same thing about friends, guys. Is it's very simple. Like, and this isn't something that's new to a lot of people. It's something that I've seen all over the internet. I'm just kind of like throwing back up, so to say, in this conversation. Is you can have a friend for 20 years that doesn't support you, but the person you just met would be your best customer or partner.
Yep.
So don't lock yourself on to those around you thinking that they're going to brighten your star when the truth is the star that's going to brighten you as a person you just met at SHOT Show or wherever it is.
That's true. It's true. Yeah.
You know. So I have a question for you because
Sure.
I've been to one or two of the mixers, that we threw, that you threw, including the grand opening, which was awesome, by the way. Um, how important is it, do you think, in your industry or just any industry to network?
Oh, extremely important. Now, since we opened the studio, we've been doing nothing but word of mouth to bring customers in. It's been very successful.
Mhm.
But networking is key. You got to just get more people in, more eyes on your facility or your business, and those people will talk to other people and other people. And of course, social media is key too as well. You want to get social media out there. You want to get networking with other production companies, other people in the industry. And my motto is, don't compete. You want to network. Okay. So there's another production company similar to ours. Why compete? Let's talk to them. Hey, how can we work together? Maybe we work together on a project or something like that. Instead of saying, let's try to undercut them or undercut us or whatever like that, or try to compete. I say network and everybody's happy.
I love that you said that because it's something that I say in the 2A network, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be a nerd for a minute. There's 327 million people in the world right now. 30% or 97.5 million are gun owners or ammo owners. 33% want to be. That's 118 million people. There's
Yeah,
not enough people for business right now. If you're a business owner, reach out to me. I love connecting people. There's not one person in the industry or your industry or anybody's industry that can handle everybody's needs. So we should be networking, communicating, and sharing business. And when you don't do that,
absolutely.
that's when things happen.
You're right, man. Right, hit the nail on the head, buddy. See,
It's,
you know what you're doing.
I'm trying. So
That's good.
I'm gonna I'm gonna end this with this, right?
Okay,
With the same thing I do with everybody else. What's next for Brian Lockerman and MB Studio Productions?
good question. I think I'll just go live on an island and just have margaritas every day. That's it.
Nice,
No,
nice. Me
no.
today.
What's next? Here's what's next. We're bringing the show Open Arms back up for sure. We have a lot of other shows that are internal that we're bringing to play too. So our goal is to sell a few of our shows. We're
Mhm.
signed with the perfect agency now. We're signed with Gersh, which is helping us get them sold, get
Shout
them
out to
bought.
Gersh, by the way.
Well, pardon me.
I said shout out to Gersh Agency, by the way.
Gersh Agency, they are amazing, by the way. Roy Ashton, my man. So yeah, we got that. Also, we're bringing in a lot of other productions into the studio. We have a lot. In fact, we're quoting 4 things today that we're
Wow.
bringing into the studio. So everything and anything that can make a success out of the studio, I'm bringing in. But I want to leave a legacy. I want to get what I produced out there. You know, my show, my open arms show, my podcast, shows that I'm creating here in the studio. That's to me is worth more than making the money off of the productions we're bringing. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah,
said,
no,
well, I
absolutely.
created that. That was my success. So that's my future goals right now.
I like it. And you said a lot of interesting things too. And we'll close it out with kind
Okay.
of building on what you were saying was, your legacy, right? A lot of people chase dollars.
Uh
Let me
huh.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. People think that money is everything. It's not. Once you learn how to make a dollar, the dollar is easy. The harder part is connections, networking, like me and you. We wouldn't be in the positions we are, especially me, had we not met, um,
Exactly.
networked.
Yep.
And now we have things going on listen, again, I'm from a trailer park in California. I didn't graduate high school. I didn't go to college. I left the police department early. And we're business partners on so many things, on so many levels, and friends. And
I
we
know
have
it.
some really interesting projects coming up that we won't speak to, but it's going to blow the industry away, including Open Arms, which is just phenomenal as it is. So I'm excited about the future.
Yeah,
And
we
I
got
just
Yeah, we got a lot of things going on, Charles, you and I. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good future. Trust me.
absolutely. And I'll close with I just really truly want to say that I'm praying for you as a family, as a friend. With the kidney issues, I know you're going to be great. I have no worries. And
Thank you, bud.
just I want to thank you for your friendship, your continued friendship, the business and mentorship, honestly, because that's what you've been a big thing to me, whether or not you realize it or not. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. They're very nice words. Thank you very much, buddy.
Well,
Yeah, I
thank you
mean,
too.
again, follow Charles on his social media and everything like that. And your social media is what, Charles, again?
Yeah, real_Lord of War. And make sure you follow Brian
Yes.
and Nikki at MB Studio Productions, Open Arms. Check out
OpenArms.tv. OpenArms.tv.
OpenArms.tv.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out them on the old interwebs as well. And listen, reach out to either one of us because there's, you mentioned real quick again too about social media. People get on social media and they think, I get 10 followers. I'm not going to post today. Let me tell you guys a secret. You post 3 times a day. It's real simple. You eat 3 times a day, you post 3 times a day. You'll get followers. It's about content, it's about quality. Who cares? I know people right now that are billionaires. Honestly, billionaires that have 400 followers on Instagram, you would never know them. I know people that have $0 who are messaging me daily asking for money who have millions of followers. So don't get
Crazy.
caught up in that, guys. Do not get caught up in it.
Yeah, Nikki said the same thing you said. Post, post, post. And that's what makes it work. And you're a prime example. You post like crazy, and look at you. You're blowing up.
Yeah, you know what? Something I say to people, and I mean it: give without expectation, and the universe will take care of it. That's
There
all
you
there is
go.
to it.
Beautiful.
So, thanks again. I appreciate you and Nikki so much. I'll be seeing you very, very soon. And guys, make sure you check out openarms.tv. Make sure you follow those guys on Instagram, MB Studio Productions. Check out them on the web too, and make sure you book some time. Who knows? I might be there when you do.
There you go. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate having me on your show.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day, bud.
You too.
See you later.